Welcome back to another Matt and Matty breakdown of play, and the Chiefs are coming off of an offensive explosion, so we got a lot of fun stuff we can talk about, but I wanted to start with this kind of 3rd-and-10 play, this completion to Travis Kelce here, Matt, and I just want you to kind of start from the very beginning. What are you seeing from the Raiders pre-snap here, and based on what the Chiefs are doing, kind of what's your thought process when this ball is getting ready to get hiked?
Right. So when you're looking at the defensive structure for the the Oakland Raiders, I am so sorry that I owe $1 to the pot. The Las Vegas Raiders here, you're looking across the board and it's some form of a too high shell. Now they have an odd front, which usually means that you have to anticipate one of those inside linebackers coming to create a 4-man rush in some way. If not, then you only have a 3-man rush, so you've got another guy in coverage. In particular, when you're looking at this and you look down low at Tyreek Hill, you can see that guy somehow has help because he's lined up outside in a press relationship to Tyreek Hill, which means he's trying to funnel that guy inside to his help. Now, the back who's here at the halfback right here, he's one-on-one. You've got one-on-one up top as well. So it's some kind of man with a two-deep principle. Usually, as you look at it from a quarterback perspective, you think they're going to create a double on somebody. And the Kansas City Chiefs get this a lot, right? With Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, those guys are dangerous. And so usually teams want to try to double, not only with the underneath defender, but the safety defender. And that's exactly what they're doing here.
Yeah, and so that's what I
So
think
as you
is
can
one of the big things. Oh, sorry. I was just saying that's one of the big things I think we see is Tyreek Hill's the single receiver down here at the bottom of the screen, and so the Raiders kind of have to double him. That's the only way you feel comfortable. And just what does that do for the rest, the triple, the 3 wide receiver side? How much easier does that make it for all those guys to kind of operate in this extra space?
Well, again, it's one-on-one for the most part, other than you've got the double on Tyreek Hill. And right here, they're actually trying to get a double on Travis Kelce. As you can see right here, McCole Hardman is running down the middle of the field, and that's the home run hitter in this coverage. Why? Because that strong safety collapses or tries to collapse on Travis Kelce on the crossing route, the deeper crossing route, and then you've got another shallow coming across. So it's somewhat of a progression read for Patrick Mahomes with a big alert, as we like to call on McCole Hardman. Now, it's a little bit fuzzy at pre-snap, right? Because he kind of settles his feet. And so taking that shot is a little bit risky, and you've got to trust it right away. But I love the fact that Patrick Mahomes is throwing on rhythm right here. As you see in the drop step here from the shotgun, he takes 3 steps. He definitively knows where he wants to go. He's reading Travis Kelce, and he sees that Travis Kelce has leverage right now, and he's able to throw a strike on time, on rhythm. Because if you're late at all, you can see that strong safety is going to collapse on that ball. But he trusted the throw. He understood where Travis was going to be out of his break, and he was able to throw that. Now, for some reason, if he gets off that, he's going to come right down to the shallow cross underneath and let him work and catch and run for the first down.
And that was the next thing I wanted to ask is that we see on this tight view, the linebacker for the Raiders, 34, actually kind of steps up towards the line of scrimmage, and it almost looks like he steps right out of Kelce's throwing window. So if he stayed with a little bit better depth, I was going to ask you, where would he go next? So you think he comes down to Demarcus Robinson next if this Travis Kelce window is a little bit tighter, a little bit more closed?
Right. He's kind of your hole player. So they like to say hole player, right? And so he's going to give presence on anything underneath. He's going to look for crossers, stay busy, also read Patrick Mahomes' eyes. And at this point, when I look at him and to see how he kind of aggressively comes toward the line of scrimmage, he might even be a guy that's what they like to call as a rat or a QB spy, a guy that's going to keep his eyes on Mahomes just in case they all of a sudden play really good coverage in the back end. Nobody's open. And Patrick Mahomes is dangerous to take off, particularly against a 3-man rush. So he might be spying Patrick Mahomes and keeping him accountable if in case he does take off to run.
And one more big thing here for I wanted to ask, there's been a lot of talk about how Travis Kelce's kind of getting played really physical at the line of scrimmage. Andy Reid's called it the halo technique where guys are essentially just grabbing him at the line of scrimmage. So this is a good job by the Chiefs here to protect him a little bit by stacking him right next to McCole Hardman and getting him off the line of scrimmage. Does that make it a lot more difficult to play like that kind of press technique on a guy like Travis Kelce?
It does, especially when you get into a stack formation, because there's communication that has to take place between the DBs. How are we going to play? Are we going to in and out it? Are we working together? Is it still a man-to-man? If it is man-to-man in this situation, you've got to be on different levels because it creates picks, and there's so many different ways in which the release pattern can change, which really helps facilitate him getting open at the line of scrimmage. When you're close to the line of scrimmage, they can put a big defensive lineman over you. They can put a big linebacker over you, and it's called somewhat of a butch technique, is where they try to bang you at the line of scrimmage, disrupt you early so you can't get into the route pattern and maybe throw off the timing. But when you spread them out and you split them out into that cushion outside of the tackle box, and now he can create a release pattern with that stack formation, it becomes a lot more difficult for teams to get into his body early on in the route.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Thank you as always for coming in here, teaching us all about a little bit of this play. And I think we all greatly appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Awesome, fellas. I always enjoy it.